Welcome to Under the Surface, an insider's look into Australian athletics, powered by Rio Tinto.
You can put away your fears and go for broke.
Today we are on the oval at Port Hedland Primary School, just having fun playing sport.
We got 3 tippers, watch out! Let's go!
Athletics for the Outback program is about creating opportunities for the children in the communities. Personally, it's incredibly amazing to see the kids' joy on their faces and how they get involved and their growth. Professionally, it's about opening pathways and opportunities to the kids around the communities that we go to.
Jailbreak!
Being up here in a semi-remote area, opportunities for these sort of things are quite limited. We rely a lot on volunteers to help out, and so when we have these sort of visits come up, yeah, we get our kids right on board and they love it. They're actually really sporty outdoor kids.
Now, the first thing we're doing, we are all gonna walk on our tippy toes. Watch me, like that. Go!
We start off, depending on the age group and the class which the kids are on, we break down the exercises into the warm-up, which we usually play games. If they're a bit older and they're quite good in athletics, then we do like proper exercises and stretches and all that. But if they're younger, we do games. We play games to start them off. And then we focus on the run or jump or throw that we're doing for the main sessions. Then we put in some games, even for the older ones, they love the games. And then we finish with sort of a cool down exercise.
We're doing sport with Sam, and we were running with a stick thing, and then we were jumping over ropes.
One, okay? Go!
Well, from personal experience, I've got 2 boys in school, and one of them, when he was told this morning that Sam from Athletics for the Outback was coming back today, he had the biggest smile on his face. He couldn't wait. He loves his sport, but again, slightly limited opportunities up here for sports, and to have role models come through like Sam has, the kids look up to these figures and really inspire them to take part in healthy life opportunities, which is what our school's trying to promote.
And is Sam a good teacher?
Yes.
What do you like most about Sam?
Now he's good at jumping.
He is good at jumping, isn't he?
On your mark! Set!
I've had a lot of parents come up to me and just extend their gratitude and, to Rio Tinto to start with for actually funding this program and bringing it to the Outback, where on a good day you wouldn't have these programs. And for the community, it actually brings community members together. A lot of communities that I go to, you see the parents and the elders. Sometimes they come on the ovals and actually sit with us and watch what we do. And afterwards, they have conversations with us. So it brings the communities together. Personally, it's amazing that, little kids can be this excited about the athletic program that we deliver. All this inspires me to keep going. I've always been in sports, but dealing with kids at this level is, I would have to say, very, very rewarding.
The Athletics for the Outback program is going to be coming up to our region over the next few years, and we're right behind that, so it gives that continuity for the children, something to really look forward to. Maybe go away, take some skills home and practice them, and come back and really build on them each time.
I love when Sam comes to our school and does athletics. I said to my teacher, I will never forget this day.
Yeah, so my parents were involved with a local running club, and it was just every Saturday would go out there. To start with, I didn't really enjoy it. I'd go along and there's a really good afternoon tea, and I'd always want some afternoon tea and I wouldn't run. And Mum said, if you want to run, or if you want the afternoon tea, you have to run. So that was my very, very early stages, just being involved in a local running club. And then they're both marathon runners, and growing up as a kid, I thought the normal family holiday was to go to Gold Coast, Hobart, Adelaide, Perth to watch your parents do a marathon. It took me a while to realise that that's not the normal family holiday. As a kid, I didn't do any training, so I started training when I was probably 16. I remember one time when I was in primary school, I qualified for the state cross-country champs, the first time ever. And 3 weeks before it, I went out and I did the same 3K loop every day, and I tried to run it as fast as I could. Wouldn't recommend that training program for a kid. Didn't perform that well at states that year, but I just love running. My first national team was under 18 cross-country in Brisbane. I won't say where I finished because it was very much near the back. That was completely fine, but wearing the Victorian uniform for the first time was definitely a really proud moment.
So in 1998, we won the 4x4 gold medal Kuala Lumpur Com Games. Personally, that was a great result given that 4 years earlier, we passed the finish line first, won the gold medal and had that taken off us because of an apparent disqualification. So I guess the gold medal KL just felt like a full circle. Tough race. They're always tough races. You don't win them just because you think you're the best on paper. Specifically, I remember my leg. I ran third down the back straight. I was having a little bit of argy-bargy with Canada. It's like, my goodness gracious, and being really careful not to be checked, to be DQ'd, or to fall onto the infield on the grass. So it was competitive. It was a tough race. So 94 DQ'd, in 95 World Championships, Gothenburg, Sweden, glorious city, little quaint city. The women's 4x4 relay comprised of myself, Renee Pawetchka, Mel Gainsford Taylor and Kath Freeman, so a slightly different team to our 94 team, came third in the women's 4x4. Amazing. It was amazing because now we're at World Championships on the world stage. So America came first. They probably assumed they were going to come first, and I say that because they had their makeup kit in the background. Russia came second, a powerhouse in female sprinting at the time, and then Australia came third. So to be on the podium just in itself against or aside those two countries just seemed extraordinary. And 30 years later, I do remember that, which is concerning. I do remember that like it was yesterday. I was really mindful that I needed to have a career post-athletics, and science evolved into neurochemistry, and I love what I do. I work now in organisational psychology and helping workplaces develop mentally healthy workplace cultures. So really under the lens of making people aware of mental health, with a bit of a nerdy background to it. But I love doing that, and it's not dissimilar to making sure your well-being is in check when you're on the track. It can be scary lining up, Lee Naylor Australia, on your marks, get set, go. So, you need to have a fairly tight control of your neurochemistry and your biology and biochemistry, if you will, when you're running. And I parallel that now, into organisational psychosocial safety. I'm really interested in the mental health space. If I look back even at my athletics decades ago, I was probably a nervous athlete. But I recognise that in sport, it is nerve-wracking. And, now, in Australian sport, there's such proximity of media, there's proximity of people, we're under this microscope. So I like the idea of, helping in mental health in organisations, but helping in sport. And, I've got sporty kids now that, play AFL. So to me, really being aware, intervening, openly speaking about mental health, absolutely vital, absolutely crucial. So I just want us all to have great well-being, be functional, be excited, happy, like we were back in the 70s. I feel like I'm a 70s kid. Was life simple in the 70s? Probably. Felt like it to me. How can we bring that back? That's probably my mission for the next decade in my working life. I would say the biggest lesson that athletics has taught me is to do everything that you can as well as you can. And I think back to Phil King, our head coach through the 90s, Debbie Flintoff-King's husband, that repeatable excellence. Just do things perfectly. If you're doing a run through, do it to the best of your ability. If you're doing drills, do it really well. And practice perfection, so that when you're running, you've practiced perfection. Rather than winging it and assuming a result, I'm fairly certain of what a result might end up being because of the effort I've put in. Get in and compete. Get in and find like-minded training partners. Gosh, I'm hearing myself say this and reflecting back, 40 years, and I felt like I wanted that. And it took me until until I was 18 really to come to Melbourne University, to then access clubs and coaches. Kids can do that a lot younger now because the world is small. So don't be afraid. Get in there, be fit, be active, find a group, compete. Geographically, it doesn't matter where we come from, country dairy farmer's daughter or in the city. That's the beauty of track and field. The beauty of track and field is you can come from any socio-economic, really, any geographic location and be successful.
Yeah, I definitely think we're in the golden era of athletics. There's so many young, talented athletes up and coming, and it's really exciting to see what Australians can do on the global stage.
Yeah, I think we're in a really good place. I think just looking at the team size across both para and able-bod, the teams are big. There's a lot of growth coming through, so it's exciting.
I'm happy to be a little part of it. I think it kind of started when all the athletes around my junior years first made their Olympic team in Rio and then in 2020 and now.
Our performances have been so incredible over the last couple of years, and I think it's due to the amazing junior pathway that we've got here in Australia, and we've all been through all those pathways. We've learned so much about injury management, nutrition, how to travel well, and how to perform at a major championship, and I think that's basically led us to the point where we've all been able to maximise our performance at the championship at the time and being able to repeat it year after year.
I can't really speak on the past because obviously I wasn't involved in it, but the generation of Australian athletics and some of the juniors up and coming right now is pretty special, and I guess I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
The young athletes now just have this idea that anything's possible. They have no fear. They can just turn up and line up next to Noah Lyles and think, you know what, maybe this is my race.
Lots of young kids coming through and lots of potential, lots of drive. That's the one thing I've noticed, is that they're all very headstrong and wanting to make themselves the best athletes that they can.
They just don't seem to have any fear. They're happy to put it out there in these big meets, in big competitions, and it's like they actually feel like they belong at the pointy end. Whereas I feel like when I was growing up, it's like an Australian was just really pleased to make the final. People have started realising that over the last couple of years, more and more Aussies are capable of reaching that top three. And I think it's just that shift in mindset, acknowledging that yes, it's tough, and out there, in the world, it's really hard to get on that podium.
I hope we see this group progress all the way through to 32. I think it's a great opportunity. They're in that cycle now. Yes, there's a Paralympics in between, but it's that real journey now to Brisbane.
I think it's so important. This is definitely a stepping stone for all of those younger athletes to be able to kind of achieve that dream of representing Australia at the Paralympic Games. And whilst 2032 seems like a long way away, it's not really that far away, and they will be the athletes that will be leading us.
Yeah, there's a lot of young athletes here that will be in Brisbane, and there's a lot of older athletes that might not be as well. So it's getting those senior athletes to be able to impart any bit of knowledge that can help those junior athletes going through to the future.
It's with Brisbane coming, I think it's so important that we're here and visible, and so the next guys that are coming through can see that it is possible and you can make teams and you can win medals.
I think it's very important. There's going to be so many people from Australia coming to watch, and families as well. And I think the kids are actually ready. I think I see so much potential in them, and they're so going to bring it home for Australia once it happens.
We never shy away from a battle, and we love going out there, putting on a show, performing for the green and gold, and doing it for everyone that's in our corner. And the whole nation's behind us, and I think that we're going to go out there and do as best as we can and hopefully come away with a bunch of medals. I don't know, I'm really excited for it, and obviously with the Olympics in Brisbane, it's like the perfect storm for athletics.